Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the windmill palm, also known as Trachycarpus fortunei. So I got this little specimen right here. It's native to China, Japan, Myanmar, parts of southern Bangladesh, um, specifically the Okinawa Islands in Japan. That's where it's more commonly naturally occurring there. This particular palm is very, very cold hardy, exceptionally cold hardy as far as palms go. It can reach a maximum height of approximately 30 feet. It produces this really woolly kind of tuft of firm or like fur type material outside of the cork of its bark. It starts growing basally, and then you eventually get this cluster of, I guess you would call them fans or fronds. They start off very symmetrical. They kind of fold open like an accordion. They start off as like this kind of shaft that comes up here. This is a very immature plant, so these fronds are going to get a lot larger. The span of one particular palm can reach upwards of 3 feet in overall spread, like width. This is just what it looks like on top. Just on top of my garbage bin. um, they do require a lot of babying and fertilizer, especially all-purpose fertilizer 20-20-20 mix. That NPK value when you're starting them out, just to get them established. And then once they're fully established, you don't really have to worry about them. They kind of take care of themselves, so to speak. They produce this really fine, very pollen-rich flower cluster. It's slightly aromatic. It has this really kind of nondescript green fruit that resembles a very, very small coconut. But to get these things to fruit is quite hard. They need to be quite mature. To get this to its mature size, I would say you're anticipating 8 to 12 years, depending on the site condition of where you plant it. And cold hardiness is approximately negative 10 degrees Celsius. But that's if you like tarp it, and that's like really taking extra precaution to make sure that it's well insulated from frost heaving and stuff like that. This plant, as it matures, adopts a more kind of dark green, almost kind of like a dusty appearance on its individual leaflets. Really nicely palmately compound, has these really like kind of hairy stems. It's kind of a pokey plant, so I wouldn't plant it next to like where children play. It's not edible, unfortunately. Sometimes you'll get a little bit of like browning on the very tips, and that's just due to two things. That's due to a lack of sunlight and transplant shock. So these plants are very, very shallowly rooted, so they don't require if you're gonna put them in a container, they don't require a very deep container. However, they do like spread, so they like to be planted in a pot that is at least where the diameter matches at very, very least half of the total width of the crown. These plants are quite versatile. They do very well in oceanic climates where the summers are kind of cool and damp, but also receive quite high temperatures. So here in British Columbia, that's perfect, and they'll do fine anywhere along the Washington, Oregon, California, Baja coast. Not a very good plant if you want to grow it in the east. I'm sorry, like New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, it's too cold. It probably won't fare very well. And if if you're over there and you're growing it well, I applaud you. Good job. This isn't the kind of plant that you'd want to grow in like Manitoba. It would suffer. You would start seeing a little bit of yellowing on the rachis, and then the base could go mushy due to just the excess cold. Yeah, on occasion you'll just get little tiny leaflet breakage. It's natural. These plants will start shedding their fronds as they get older, and the trunk will become more descript. Yeah. So that's the windmill palm, Trachycarpus fortunei, and thank you for listening. Have a good day.